My name is Usman Babar and I'm a partner for business process outsourcing services with Gadit. I'm joined today by my fellow partners, Arshad Gadit, Usman Alam, both of whom I'm sure you guys have seen and heard in various conferences and on social media. And this is totally unprepared, unplanned. We were having a conversation as we were planning for the year ahead and years ahead, strategizing our acquisitions, planning for new market expansion. And we were kind of like, let's brainstorm the challenges, our journey over the last many years. And was like, you know what, let's just sit in front of the camera, share our learnings, our thoughts, our challenges we faced, and here we are. And please feel free. We'd love if you share your challenges, your pain points, your opinions later on through comments or messages to us. So, gentlemen, how are you?
Thank you, Usman. I won't say this is unplanned. We've been planning this for the last 10 years. So it's,
Yeah,
I
true.
think it's
I mean, this conversation was totally unplanned, but we've been planning. You're absolutely
Announced.
right. For this business, we've been planning for a long time. Yeah.
But I think this would be a fantastic opportunity for sharing our experiences now, given that we've been working really hard in this space, having built the organization now more than around 500 people outsourced across the globe. This is our chance to share some thoughts.
Yeah.
This is a very good opportunity for us to take this forward from here.
Yeah.
True.
I think it's the need of the time as well. So I think this is the right time. The year has ended, and the new year is starting, and the people have already budgeted their resources. I think this is the right time to tell them is outsourcing for them or not.
Correct. I mean, really, what we've been talking about is outsourcing really understood by the market, and what are the challenges? I mean, we all go and we meet our friends and we meet our clients, prospective clients, many of them CEOs, CFOs represented on the boards. And I always kind of, when I'm in conversations with them, there's always this inhibition about will it work kind of thing. I don't know what's been your experience and how you guys have been kind of dealing with the people. Osman?
Yeah, I think it's more, depending on the location, depending on the market. The Western market has adopted this for a long time now. I think the Middle East, where we come from, is getting used to it. I think one of the benefit of COVID is that, COVID made it happen in the Middle East.
I agree. I mean, COVID really helped the acceptability about outsourcing considerably.
Exactly. And even in the region, like for UAE market, they have been more prone towards outsourcing, but Saudi still, I think, Arshad, I don't think so.
Absolutely, I think, but it is gradually coming into the market. Saudi and in Middle East and other countries as well, they're slowly but gradually catching up to this thought. The idea of keeping everything too close to your chest is just waning out over the period of time, given that what they have seen, how our offshoring has worked in past, be it on in-country offshoring or off-country offshoring. But at the same time, there have been failures in past. I totally understand the reluctance of CEOs and organizations just letting it go outside of the boundaries of the organization, any kind of work, be it confidentiality issues, the trust issues, whether the other person would be able to do as good a job as our own people who are directed right in front of us. These all, and then things have failed in past. You've got major failures in offshoring, but then there have been huge successes also. People have learned from their mistakes and they've been evolving. And I think that's the thing which we need to sort of pull out. A lot of conversations I've been having in N number of CEOs. When you start talking to them, show them how it would work, starting with maybe one or two resources offshoring, or not just offshoring, just within their organization, bringing people from outside to do a job for, say, for example, a project for 6 months to a year. That helps them understand that the organization, if they open up their boundaries, they've got so many benefits coming out of it.
I fully agree. I mean, one of the successful things I have kind of been able to convince many CEOs and CFOs has been about hybrid outsourcing, and the hybrid version, because one of the challenges, just like trust, many people say it. I mean, many will not even say it, but you can feel that they're having that mental struggle and that kind of migration towards trusting in other organization.
But because mainly they can't see it, right?
Yeah.
So there are organizations which are 100% people on site working from them. Remember that time of remote working in COVID time. First, people were so reluctant. Now, I think I'm also part of that clan, who were just, no, I would have conversation face to face with the person sitting right across the table. But then I've got used to of teams, distant conversations, building the horizons. Now I can feel there's a lot more you can do with the global talent on sort of one platform for you. So you're absolutely spot on.
I always give an example of bread. We eat bread. Back in the days, people used to make bread at home. But outsourcing will become the bread because you don't make bread anymore. You have specialized people, who are doing that. Outsourcing will become that thing. The market is changing so quickly. A business owner can adapt to it.
I think that's a very important, good point, Usman, you raised, because the way the skills are evolving, the way AI has kind of come in, and skills are either becoming redundant or new skills are being required. For organizations, just investing in a person in one skill set as opposed to having a portfolio of skills through an outside organization, which because of their nature of business have to keep abreast with changes in the market more so, I think that itself is a very strong reason for kind of organizations to think about it seriously.
There have been multiple things which I typically say to organizations. One, you cannot find every single talent in the same vicinity or proximity to wherever you are. So you're opening up horizons. You got scalability. When you need resources fast, if you got restricted yourself in one jurisdiction, that might sort of restrict the business. Focus on the core is another area where people do understand this. And I totally, I can understand why they want to sort of hold the fort by themselves. But focusing the core. So if I'm, for example, we are a consulting business, we are an outsourcing business. I would rather focusing on working with my clients, just talking to them, and then operational aspects of my business I would let go because there is a prime focus of my business. This is what I'm. Organizations have been built for. So, for example, a production company producing manufacturing anything. For example, they're manufacturing crisps. Focus on the production. Why do you want to focus on every single aspect of the business? You are an expert in production of something specialized. Focus on that. Everybody else can become a specialist expert.
I think, Arshad, the problem is the people, they are afraid to lose control.
Correct.
So I think the control factor is, they think that if they outsource it, they might lose quality, they might lose control. But I think the mindset is changing, and it has to change even more in the region. People should start trusting. Your own employee can go wrong. It's not that, if one failure can't be, you can't set that as an example.
Yeah.
So I think people do understand that now, the leaders, especially if they want to grow. I think that's the perfect opportunity. It's outsourcing plus co-sourcing. You have a team there, you have a team back office. Correct. Kind of thing. Either it's us or either they build it themselves. I think, but this is the need of the time.
I mean, even if we look at ourselves as an organization and the journey we've made over the past many years, from things, being right there in the offices, wherever we are abroad, and mashallah, we're in multiple jurisdictions, to now kind of having a centralized hub where a lot of our functions are kind of centralized and outsourced. And what we've learned is that it's actually helped us with quality. It's helped us actually focus our time more on business development and client relationships, and ultimately it's ROI of time invested, whether it's growth or whether it's focusing on our niches. I think that this kind of actually has helped us.
No, exactly. If perfect example, this podcast. So if we we didn't have a back office marketing team, so I won't have a separate director, I won't have a separate cameraman. I want, it's a.
We would not have had the skill sets
I would
and the
try to
specialized
exactly.
5 years,
I would
10
have
years
tried the
ago.
same thing in Dubai with
Yeah.
just one person who's not specialized in all the editing or anything.
Right. You're
Back
right.
office
I
made it
mean,
possible,
these,
yeah.
But
these
I-
things
but
really
I-
make a difference.
Definitely, and I do remember, Usman, going back years when we started this business, the reluctance of having our own back office.
Yeah.
There was a lot of internal conversations and debate whether it will work, whether we will get the talent, we will never be able to see them, we might see them once in a year or maybe not ever. How would we, connect the dots? There might be teething issues. And I remember when we started, Obi, you would remember that first few weeks and months were very difficult, to educate ourselves. Although we are the, solid supporter of this idea, but still we were struggling. But then over the period of time, I would strongly recommend to anybody, whoever is thinking of, outsourcing, you have to try it out once to figure it out how it works.
Start at a small scale.
Start at a small scale, and you will definitely have teething issues.
I think that's the same thing, the fear of losing control. So that's what we personally faced as well. But once we are past that, now we want everything that's not our core business to be outsourced
Correct.
as an organization. I think that's the same thing which people, the leaders face. And what Arshad is doing in Saudi, he's laying the foundation for outsourcing. What we did 6, 7 years, 8 years in Dubai,
Right.
because there was no concept of outsourcing, and we
Right.
started talking about outsourcing, back office thing.
Yeah.
I think Arshad, the credit goes to you for laying the foundation and bringing up more.
He's doing the right kind of messaging to the audience.
No, I think you're doing in the Saudi market, combining ACCA, ICW people around the.
I think at least in finance, in finance fraternity less so. IT was being outsourced in Saudi
exactly.
also a lot more, because of course when it comes to technology, people think, oh, it's technology, you can do technology from anywhere in the world, but the concept does not come home to you when you talk about any other different areas of speciality. For example, anybody who's talent acquisition specialist, HR, you've got finance resources, you've got supply chain individuals,
Marketing itself.
marketing itself.
And especially when you can find the Arabic speaker in your back office, which was not there before. People thought everything is in Arabic. How can they outsource to Pakistan, India, Philippines, or any other place? But now Usman, like you have in
Language
your
is not
team
a barrier.
Arabic speaker, Arabic writers. You have
Yeah.
so that's amazing.
But I think but that individually, everybody started identifying the areas, and now they are comfortable. We've got clients, we've got multiple areas outsourced, that, and within Saudi, for example, in a hybrid model, and in other than Saudi locations, and that's now coming naturally to them. They feel like that they are all part of one team. Maybe the COVID has helped more for people to understand and realize that market is changing. Finance professionals now more so governance, risk, compliance, more so are taking help from outliers. Some larger organizations. So if I were to give you an example of banking institutions globally, you would think banking would be the last organization would want to do outsourcing, given the confidentiality of the data and many other central bank regulatory affairs. They don't want to get their information leaked out to anybody, but they have taken the first step to do outsourcing, large outsourcing units. You can identify monotonous kind of repeat tasks in your organization to be outsourced, pushed fairly easily. But I think now this is our opportunity for us to talk to our clients, talk to the people we work with, as to what else we can do to make it more comfortable for you.
I think it's more of a opportunity plus our responsibility as well. Being in the practice for the last 10, but Arshad, like yourself, in the last 25 years, OB 20 years. I think this is, if we understand something, I think it's our responsibility to share with our fellow members.
But I think the one element I would of course tell you that what organizations do need to understand, given that we have seen the impact on the P&L ourselves, and for us now the liberty to actually go confidently and say to our clients that yes, we can do large scale projects fairly easily. I would not have that kind of liberty or the comfort of committing something big to our clients. The stakeholders would require, for example, if I'm a CEO of a large organization, the stakeholder would expect me to do both things, growth of the revenue as well as, managing my cost. And then in this day and age, in different parts of the world, the cost of doing business is increasing rapidly. You have to find avenues to reduce or contain the cost in the right manner without compromising on the quality.
Yeah, exactly, Arshad, like you mentioned that as a CEO or something. So the first thing what I face, when I go to a client or to pitch, to ask them, why aren't you outsourcing? So they said, okay, I understand that's the need. Why don't I make it myself? I said, yes, go ahead. You at least start doing it. You can go and start, build up your own back office kind of thing, or you have firms, consultants like us, who has already done it.
Yeah.
And we've been doing for last 7-8 years now. We understand the challenges, we understand how to comfort them and get it done. But yeah, everyone has an option to either
We've seen organizations doing their own units across the globe. There are some hot markets, of course, Pakistan, India, Philippines, Jordan, Egypt, for different kind of talents in this part of the world. And within Western world also, you've got Poland, you've got within US, for example, there are a lot of cities within US where people from US do outsource too. There's another concept which been debating a lot more about, is the concept of insourcing. That is something which we are exploring also ourselves. So insourcing is basically, you're running an organization, say for example, of around 400 odd people, but you want to focus on your core. So the senior leadership, the executive management would go out, look at the areas what they need control of, and you will be surprised, the organizations which have done this in past, they will just focus on 30, 40, 50 individuals in that organization. 350 people are passed on to somebody else with specialized skills to manage those 350 people. You've got few people in middle who can actually become the bridge between the two. And then imagine now I'm senior leadership, got 30 odd people, senior executives talking to only 30 more people, not 350 more people, and they become your connectors. So you're talking to people who are talking to others, and an entire business becomes somebody else's payroll, and then you just get KPIs associated with them. So they're evolving things, and this has worked in past, and this has failed also in past. But the idea is, once you start that, give it some time. Don't rush into jumping on conclusion without naming a large organization for everybody's benefit. Huge banking organization. The first year when they outsourced their finance function of around 300 people to another country, the cost was at least 25% more in first year, because you will have a transition time where you've got people who are onboarded, they were redeploying those resources in other departments, and at the same time they hired more resources elsewhere. Second year was same kind of cost. Third and fourth and fifth year down the line, it was 50% cost reduction.
See, this when people say that the companies that they want to build their own, they will get increased cost in the first year.
Correct.
Rather, if the same company would have come to us, we have built the infrastructure is there, everything is there, we just plug and play. So that's the difference. Going with a consultant or
I think that either or. That's not the point, but what I'm sort of trying to gauge from the CEO's point of view or an organization's senior executive's point of view, why would I do outsource in first place? And you're absolutely spot on. I think you got a machine which is already ready. You take that or you build something. So whether they want to do it organically, inorganically, that's their choice.
Correct. We could apply the same argument to why should I buy a car? I want to build it myself.
Exactly.
Why should I buy this table? I should build it myself. And we all have our own time and our own skill set, and we want to focus on our own, sweet spot where we think we can have the best ROI. Ultimately, it really comes down to how I spend my time and where I see the best ROI. And so if I were to ask you guys, or as a group, if we were to kind of really summarize what are the challenges we've heard, in our conversations with our friends who are CFOs, CEOs, in our network groups, the inhibitions in the minds of people. So I know we've talked about loss of control or the fear of loss of control. We've talked about people kind of having that trust deficit or trust gray area, where they're not able to make that decision.
I think, yeah, and the logistics is one factor. People have this assumption, the Pakistan, India, and all those places, there's power outage, there's the different kind of thing. We've been in this office for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
There was no power outage
Correct.
since
with
one
the
time, even
right
one time.
kind
Yeah.
of backup, whether it is
Exactly.
power or internet.
So that's the infrastructure
We've been
which we
serving
built
clients in
already.
the West
Yeah.
for a long time now. Yeah.
Exactly. And that kind, the quality, employee retention, all these challenges are there if you go and try building it up yourself. That's what I think.
Yeah.
If there's already someone who has specialized in it, so he know how to go about.
I mean, it's interesting about employee retention because this is something I never thought at the time that, when we were building it up many years ago. I thought employee retention would be through some sort of retention formulas and mechanisms and through nice payroll mechanisms. But what I've realized over time is that because as our base has grown, as our markets have grown, the skill sets are quite easily transferable. After a few years, it's human nature. Somebody wants to learn something else, wants to experience a different market, wants to experience a different department within the vastness of finance. And we've kind of been able to create opportunities.
Yeah.
And that actually helps with not just transition for clients, because we as an organization still has that employee with us who's kind of helping the new person who's moving into that role with the transition, as opposed to somebody working for a company who's resigned and leaving, and 1 month 2 months notice that person is gone. We're able to kind of take care of that client
Exactly.
and pass on the knowledge to the new person joining in that
Exactly,
role.
like things which we do, like having a shadow employee. So for like every 3% there's a one shadow employee kind of
Correct.
thing.
Which helps with the training,
Yeah.
which helps with development and helps the client with
Exactly,
retention
and we have
of
the
knowledge
backup all the time.
as a backup.
I think this is one of the major concern as well of the
Yeah.
leaders in the region. And especially, we are living in the time where Gen Zs are there. They're, like we were talking yesterday, the priorities are different. We can't, it's not like, like Arshad, you used to do in the firm.
Young, I'm
in
so
the
I'm
sorry.
start.
also Gen Z, I'm also Gen Z still.
I would like to be calling myself this many years old,
Yeah.
sort of young rather than old. Right?
So, like I have
He's
heard
very
from
young.
you guys, you used to spend like
My time,
18 hours, 20 hours in the firm. So now the priorities have changed. So they won't be spending 20 hours. So you can't have, no one can take work more than a person. Like you used to work for 2 people, for example. So now it's not that.
I think if I had to sum up what you were saying, the biggest challenge I see, and I feel that most of the CEOs are concerned about, and then that is, seeing is believing. When they can't touch and feel something, they don't think it's happening.
Yeah.
And that bridge, if they cross first time, it's like, for example, when you're on diet, first 4 or 5 days are
it's
very difficult. Because you don't know, nothing is happening. I've stopped eating for last 2 days and still my belly is out. That will not come, automatically, immediately. It will take its own sweet time when you see the results. So there are different people who've got different mindset, but most of the people have got this reluctance that I have not seen it, so I don't believe that it will work.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I would say to those people, and I always sort of have this debate with the friends who are CEOs or friends who are CFOs of our clients, just hold my hand, get in the flight, come and see it for yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Then you'll be able to believe that you can visualize it. Now in this day and age, you can have a screen in a room where you can see the people working for you. You can click the button and start talking to them as if they're sitting right across the door. So things have changed, things have evolved. They need to evolve also with time.
I think that's the bottom line. I think they need to come and see, especially Obi is a great host as well. So he'll do all the arrangements and everything. And I think
we've been hosted really well.
Yeah.
The delicious food and the environment of this place. And I think again, the opportunity is there for them to explore different places as well.
I think we should speak about that. And let's not drag it more. And
I fully agree. A lot of people actually change their mind after they
After they come
actually
and see.
visited
Exactly.
and saw for themselves the vast machinery we're running. And many people, I even say, either start small or start hybrid. And hybrid is also a nice bridge, which is an
Maybe you
in
need to
between.
explain hybrid a little bit.
Okay, so hybrid comes in two forms. One is where the resource or the individual works on a hybrid mechanism, but still has all the benefits of outsourcing. And this hybridness at an individual level is, say, somebody working for 3 months in Saudi at a client and the remainder of the year from the back office. But the average cost really comes down, while the cultural integration, the get to know the business, get to know the individual, that's also all taken care of. So that is a hybridness at an individual level. But similarly, we've successfully now built hybrid teams where, say, the middle management of the team, so let's say the client has their senior management, we bring in a middle management for the team that are physically on site in foreign jurisdictions, whether it be Bahrain, Saudi, Dubai, Canada, UK. And then you got a team that's being guided by the middle management, that is essentially our team on site. And in the back office, you've got a team being guided by the middle management, delivering, reporting, doing various tasks. And again, as a team, you still have the benefits that outsourcing would provide to you. I think that's been really successful, especially with people of the mindset who still want to talk to individuals, who still want to kind of,
touch and feel kind of thing, like Arshad, that they can go there and,
Correct.
meet
so
them.
I
And,
think these two hybrid models have been quite
think
successful.
that's great.
Yeah.
And especially just one last thing I want to mention about, you just haven't remained in Pakistan as your back office. So
Correct.
you have employees sitting in Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Jordan, and
Cairo,
I think that's we cracked the code in terms of finding the right talent at the right place at the right price.
Yeah.
And I think
that would
that's
definitely
amazing.
hit the P&L,
Exactly.
The CEOs definitely would love
For
to,
Arshad, it's
to
all
talk
about P&L.
And I think given my background also personal, every single individual, we say that any amount made above zero is profit.
Is profit, yeah.
So any cost saving is profit to the organization. And I think why not?
Yeah.
There are ways of doing that. You can easily do that. Of course, there is a process to this madness, but this madness has a book written on it. It can be done fairly easily. So I will sum it up with saying, think outside of the box. Get yourself out of this comfort zone of I can't see it, so I can't believe it. You need to just push the boundaries and go out and, in the real sense, you just cross the boundaries, go outside, and then see the other side of the fence to make it work for yourself.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you very
gentlemen.
much.
It was a pleasure talking to both of you.
Thank you.
And I'm really happy we kind of decided about doing this podcast. So thank you all for listening, and we'd love to hear from you. Guys, feel free to reach out to us, feel free to comment. And we're here to help you guys build a scalable and sustainable business.